fall apart. So let's start off with our big intro song. Mm, mm. Of course, other music that you hear, you can always find at Poetic Nurse on Suno. Then we have the intro of Why Things Fall Apart. So, you guys, we are in June. Maybe I should play a little bit, but we're in June, the beginning of June. So, welcome to a new month, right? The days are going so fast that I barely remember what day it is. So, let's get into, even though I feel like messages are always relevant when it gets to you, but we're on 6/7, June 7th, right? And so, why did Poetic Nurse start doing when things fall apart? So I was speaking to a friend and I was just explaining like no matter what you go through, you can't give up. Because I can say that it may not be in your time, but it's like it's always right on time. And I think a lot of that has to do with believing. Also, when you do actions towards it, right? So, how do you get there? That's what you're thinking. For some, you also advise them no doctor or psychologist, no degree. This is just poetic nurse giving her experiences and what I've been through. So when things fall apart, it's like sometimes you think, why me? Hello, welcome in. Sometimes you think, why me? Sometimes you feel like, has there something that I did to deserve this? Right? Sometimes you know it's nothing that you did. And you're so focused on who or what caused it that you also can't get over it. So, welcome in. This is Poetic Nurse with When Things Fall Apart, right? Subscribe. I'm like the live. I appreciate it. So you can see my videos. I'm also a poet as well. So, with that, I really want you to imagine that there's this energy force. So, your thoughts are like an energy field going around you, right? And that energy field around you is like a magnet. And so, this is why, if you're already down and you feel like everything's falling apart, if that's the only thing that you focus on, then what do you think is going to happen when it rains it pours? Those phrases, those things that we say just in the saying because we've heard them, don't help us feel any better, and it attracts more of that to come toward us. So, even in the thought of asking questions, did this fall apart because it wasn't good for me? Did this fall apart because there's something that I didn't see about it? I really wanted that house. The deal went through. Years later, there's bad piping that cost thousands. But you don't know that at the time that you get your no or something falls through. Pain. Let's just talk about body pain. You're going through body pain. If you literally put on your mind, my knee hurts, I can't do this, I can't walk, I can't have it, everything's falling apart. What happens? You end up in the bed, sick, can't move, because this is what you spoke. This is what you believed. This is what you said. This is what you harbored. So when things fall apart, the first thing that we must do is decide I'm not falling with them. I Everything may have fell apart, everything may have been broken, but I'm going to be here whole within myself. So in that time, it is so and I'm sorry you guys, I have some comments. All right. So thank you. So, and that's even then, right? So I want to say that when you're being focused on what you're going through and you're elevating yourself out of the negativity, out of the victim thinking, out of the accusations of other people, when you're channeling in on what the solution is, how you pick back up the pieces, you'll have distractions. And a lot of them sometimes can be negative distractions because it wants to get you off course. It wants to divert that energy back to what's not serving you. Now, of course, if we continue doing the same cycle over and over again, then something about that negative cycle, something about that bad habit is serving us in some way. Maybe serving your subconscious, maybe serving dependency you have. The thing is not that, oh, I'm going to criticize myself or everything is falling apart. So I need to go through and dissect myself to where I'm just making myself turn into some kind of way, right? Coping mechanisms. But the thing about it is, you recognize it, like you're going in not to criticize, but to see where you could possibly slow down on the habit, where you could possibly take a second. This is just attempts because at least you're attempting to work on it. I, yes, we're changing, but everything is within us. So there's something wrong with you to where you have to turn it out into a whole nother person so that you can get the life you have. The reason why we don't have some of the things that we want or we're not able to see it is because of the vibration that we're on, because of the thoughts that we have. And so when things fall apart, if you are in that shattered space of my heart is hurt, my mind is confused, I'm only feeling these bad things, how do you get to the next step? Gratitude. In my experience, welcome in from St. Thomas. Gratitude is how, right? And you say, okay, what gratitude? You know, I'm grateful that I am being challenged in this way because it's pushing me into something that is greater. I am grateful that I still have, whether it's a car, whether it's shelter, whether it's food, even if it's just one thing that you have to continuously say. Because I don't want you naming out things that you're grateful for that you're really not grateful for. Not at this point. Not at the beginning point. This is the that you're really grateful. I'm grateful that I have life. I'm grateful that this has happened, that has happened. One thing. I'm grateful I have water. One thing. What that does is that changes your vibration. How can I be grateful for a person that lies to me? Because now I know they're a liar. So I'm grateful for that because now I have more insight. I don't know if they're a liar all the time. I'm not tagging them with anything. I'm just now being aware and in the know that this is someone who doesn't tell the truth. Okay, it's noted. I'm grateful to know that because if I was continuing and not knowing, then I will operate and believe everything that this person says without questioning it or analyzing it for further see through, right? Why am I glad that person yelled out and said this thing or called me this? Because when they were acting like your friend, when they were acting cool, you didn't know. You believed. And now you see differently. And now, how do you take that? I'm grateful for that. However, I don't know what that person is going through, and this has nothing to do with me. So I'm grateful for that situation clearing out. I'm grateful for them working on that. I don't have to help. I can just stay in my own lane. I'm grateful that since this relationship, this marriage broke up, I now get to have a relationship with myself. I'm grateful that the marriage and the relationship worked out because now we get to grow together. I'm grateful we had that separation because then we saw what it was to be without each other and came back. I'm great that we had the separation because I see that the same things were going to continue happening and we didn't get back. You can be grateful in any of your situations. And that gratitude is going to uplift your vibration. It's scientific. Look it up. Don't take poetic nurses full thing. Search it out if you want. And why do you want to be in a better vibration? Because that better vibration makes your mind clear, it makes you breathe better, it makes you have less anxiety, it brings you closer to yourself, it lets you know that you can make it, it gives you the motivation that goes down into those voided and dark spaces and says, nah, we're not giving up. That's not an option. I don't know for my stubborn people out there, but using the stubbornness, using the will, using the discipline to fight for you. But it's an internal fight. I don't know how I'm going to stop, self-sabotaging. I don't know how I'm going to stop thinking I'm the victim. I don't know how these things are going to stop happening to me, but I know that now that everything's falling apart, I'm going to build, and I'm going to build an empire brick by brick, shell by shell, concrete by concrete, wood by wood. I'm going to do what I need to do. And when I look up, these will be my survival to thriving moments because I left no other option. And really, sometimes life leaves no other option because when those things fall apart and you are rebuilding them, the belief that you need to have in yourself. I seen I don't know her last name, but Danielle from Orange is the New Black and many other shows, actress, and she was saying, someone asked her, what would you tell the old you that I should have believed and stood on it every day? I should have known and stood on it every day that this was going to happen. I should have told myself. I should have believed. I should have never doubted. All the days of worry, all the days of wondering, is it going to happen? I should have known. So if I'm looking at everything that has fallen apart, I know that I can rebuild it on solid ground. I know that I can take my wisdom, learn more, and do what needs to be done. I know that I can do it. I've came through so many different things. So many, I mean, so many different things throughout our lifetimes. Crush us, pressure us, push us, make us feel outside, inside, like There's so many range of emotions that we go through. But what are you doing with them when things fall apart? When it all falls apart, what are you doing? I'm telling you. The gratitude takes you into your actions, takes you into seeing, takes you into asking questions to bringing you into a courage space of I can do this. And I'm speaking from places where I don't even know where to start or how I'm going to do this or why am I living or being put in this situation. Sometimes those questions are answered, sometimes they're not. And however, it gives me this moment to say, okay, I need that grit, I need that resilience, I need this fire to burn into me something that I've never created before, I've never thought before, I've never done before. Perfect something that I mastered or go through. And then also at times to just surrender to, okay, this may be rebuilt differently. Maybe it's going to be in a different location. Maybe it's with different people. Because if I truly believe that the universe, my creator, my God, whatever you want to call it, if they truly believe that it created me and it wants the best for me, then why not? But what am I thinking? What am I telling myself? Because this is the time when things fall apart when you're alone. This is the time when friends are silent. This is the time when you may be silent. You don't want people to know what you're going through. And at that point in time, it gets to that moment of, well, this is where poetic nurse is like, you know what? If my intention is that whether it's 1, 2, 10, 200, 2,000, the purpose is to let you know that I came on this day to let you know that you can make it, that you have this feeling of, I don't know how, you know? And at times we don't even want to listen to this because it's like, you don't know what I'm going through. You don't know what I'm living with. And the truth, and honestly, I don't. All I know is that I've been in some hard spaces, some that I felt were due to my own choices, some that I felt were just because of life. But I'm here today, and everything's still not perfect. But I'm here today to say that I believe. I believe every day that things will work out. I believe every day that things are getting better. I believe it and I see it and I watch it happen. And the more that I think positive, see positive, visualize it in my life, the more that I work, do the things that I love, work hard no matter what in my own way, because it can only be in your way, increasing my creativity, my thoughts, my actions, all while it could have appeared to things falling apart. But I've wired my brain to transform the things that I am thinking, saying, and what I am dwelling on. People talk about getting old. I'm gonna be 46 this year. I love getting older. I am seasoned. And matter of fact, aging as wine, getting so healthy that the age cells reverse to where I have longer vitality. I would never have said these things about myself if I didn't program myself daily. I can go through the trenches. There can be hard times, but those are not of mine. And this was just to be a ending cycle for me to get to another level to where I will desire, want more, and learn more. So when I'm looking at things falling apart and I'm asking myself, how can I use this to help someone? How can I use this to relate to what someone's going through? How can I use this to make myself better? How can I change my focus from what I don't have to what I do have? Because I have so much. Because when things fall apart for other people, do they still have internet? Do they still have food? Do they still have light? Do they still have water? Do they still have clothes? Do they still have transportation? Do they still have fun nights? Do they still have laughs? Because all of those things, as little as they are, they can be taken. We can give them away by choice. We could be in environments that don't allow us to be free. But in everything that we have going on, we have so much running water, toiletries. We're able to be in massive different countries, different states, different villages, and come in on each other and say, you can make it. If you were only in here for half a second, if you heard you can make it, you can do it when things fall apart, it's going to work out for you. It was meant. The intention is for my voice and words to come in and resonate somewhere inside of you that says, life must have forgot who I was. Life must have forgot that we dance all the time. And yes, sometimes you might win the round, but I win the entire thing because it's my life. And we're working together to build those things that I feel are going to nurture me, are going to bring me into a better space. And so that's where it's like, okay, I can do this. But you have to remind yourself of that every day. I can take this. I was built for this. I'm not gonna let it stop me. I'm not gonna let it break me. I'm not gonna let it shatter me. I can feel the pain. I don't have to act like it didn't hurt. I don't have to act like I don't feel betrayed. I don't have to act like that wasn't messed up. I know that. I lived it. But now let me take you to through how I'm alchemized what was messed up. Let me take you through how I'm gonna build on what was burnt. How I'm going to turn everything that I learned in every lesson into this version of me that I didn't even know. But you will recognize it, right? Because your spirit and your soul knows that there will be a day that will come where you would feel like you are at the bottom, at the lowest part of it, but you held your head high, you stood up, you went for what you wanted, what you love, what you like, your heart's desires. And it wasn't a race or a chase, it was just this constant movement forward in many different ways to your legacy, your destiny. And this is where you have that moment inside yourself where it's, I am my hero. thanking everyone who supports you, thanking everyone who has done something and helped you out, whether it be a conversation, listening, whether it be financially, whether it be coming to visit you, like everyone that helped and supports you. uh, Thank them, be grateful for them, but most of all, be thankful and grateful for yourself, for you are the hero. You are the hero for yourself. So when thinking of that, you're the hero for yourself, then you're not expecting anyone else to save you. You're putting on the cape to save yourself. And sometimes it's not always the way we thought it was. It doesn't always look the way we thought it was going to look. We make a timeline, we set dates, and then we look up, and months become years, and life has passed us, and we're wondering, how do we catch up? I've learned from that to just stop and start from where you are. Because even when it all falls apart, I always say this: you're not starting from scratch. You still have your wisdom, you still have your lessons learned. You're starting over, but you're not starting from scratch. And how important it is that when you feel like the has truly everything fell apart, is your voice still good? Are your ears still good? Are your eyes still good? Can you still write? Because if you find one thing, that already takes you out of that space of when all things fall apart. So finding that one thing that's like, wait a minute, this is still going good. Because a lot of times we look up in life and it's like half of it's going good in this areas or whatever, and then the other half on the other side is not. So how do we find balance? We find balance by balancing ourselves, bringing into a self awareness of who you are, what you need, what's your desires, what's your triggers, what you can work on, when you need to back up and stay to yourself. Like these are all scales of measurements that we might have to ask ourselves when we feel like all the things fall apart. Because I feel like people make drastic emotional decisions why they are highly emotional, and those emotions are falsified by time, by situation. And so I say that as well, just to say that it's important that you pour into you. It's important that you listen to someone telling you that you can make it and you got this. Now, if you can do it yourself, that's great. But if you know that it's hard to do it yourself, then that's where you utilize someone who is creating that space. And we look at ourselves like if we were a garden, right? So if you saw a plant and things fall apart now, saw plants, they're not growing, they're dying. Would you not water them? Would you not check and see if they have too much sun? You wouldn't just leave it there. But yet, when we go through, when things fall apart in our lives, it's like we just stay on the ground. It's like we just give up. There's no more fight. But if you don't get up and do some fighting actions, it would just be like the plant. It's just going to wither. It's not going to grow. And we're about growing, right? And that growing starts with self. So when things fall apart, what is there something that I could have done different? Is there something that I could have worked on when it comes to myself, my habits, my um dealings. And this is where it gets to, even if you can't think of it, okay, may it come to me. May it come to me when it comes to me. But that's so important for you to be mindful of what you're saying to yourself when you're in the trenches, when you're going through it, when you feel like everything's been taken away from you, when you just don't know what to do. This is that part. This is that part. Well, you guys, we're gonna go ahead and do the intro out. Sometimes I do a little poem going out. It's the first time I'll have to do over this, but um, let's go out on this. So again, if you have Suno, download it. If you don't, follow me at Poetic Nurse. My other YouTube channel, Poetic Nurse Arts AI, follow there as well. And let's go on out. When things fall apart, I could just lay there and not think of the next start. But where would that leave me? In the past? No, I'm going to stand up, dust myself off, and look into the sunset. I'm going to write the next scripts of every single day. It's going to be something that I've done in a silent way. I'm going to put it in the claws of the eagle as it soars above the skies, as I make the plans to travel high. And when everything comes into this special view, I'll remember the times that I held on and held through by saying to myself, I I can make things new. This is when things fall apart, not just for me, but also for you. Keep holding on. Poetic Nurse. You guys have a great evening. I will see you every Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You know how we do right here when things fall apart. Encouraging words. Again, follow me. Thanks for the follows. Thanks for the lights. And have a great, great Sunday.